So, Beansy had donated for us to build the core of this deck last week, and honestly, it felt pretty reasonable. And one innovation that Beansy had over the weekend that seems great is previously we had been playing Fae of Wishes, and they added Search for Glory as a different kind of tutor card, as well as going up to 80 cards for Yorion. So this is a little bit cheaper of a search effect. And also, in the event that we have Snowlands, it can gain us some life, which is definitely relevant. This lets us play all 4 copies of Ugin in the main instead of starting one of the Ugins on the board. We've got a bunch of ramp spells. We've got some sweepers. We've got Vorinclex plus lots of planeswalkers and Hydroid Krasis to draw lots of cards with and double them up. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this one and see if it feels reasonable again today or not. Sarah Jazz, good morning. Thank you for the follow. Sand looks super reasonable. Exode, good morning. Consistency is key in streaming, Draven, so it's important to keep a schedule. This might be a spell that we're cycling. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and play this untapped and cycle this on 2. Kind of Aura's deck on the other side, maybe? Shatter the Sky, not looking great against this. So many Wraths. I mean, we actually don't have that many Wraths if you consider the fact that we're playing 80 cards. So, like, our deck is... We're playing 6 sweepers, but our deck is 33% bigger. So, like, it's like we're playing a little bit more than 4 sweepers in a normal 60-card deck. Yeah, blue-white aura is interesting. Okay, so the goal is survive to get to Ugin, huh? Giant as a blocker seems decent. Why would you wish this flying upon us? Hello. This is your fault, hello 95. Why would you put this bad mojo on my family? What did we ever do to you? That's actually a great draw. Gets me to Ugin a turn sooner here and lets me cast this in game 3. Honestly, I think we just get second Ugin, right? Sayal, thank you for the 2.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It's quite the duration. Am I dead yet? Land second glitter kills us, right? Yep. Someone earlier asked what Angels is bad against. Ugin. Ugin's the answer, by the way. I don't think the Angels decks ever beat a deck like what we're playing. Like, not only do we have sweepers, but we have 4 Ugins. We have 8 Ugins with the searches. Silence. We literally watched Angels beat Hushbringer on stream multiple times yesterday. I'm honestly surprised you're playing Historic going off of your mood last week. Can you explain what you mean by that? I don't recall anything particular happening with Historic last week. Like what was the Like, that's one of the things that always makes me chuckle about Magic players is like they take me describing things that are just true as me being upset with them as opposed to me being descriptive of them. So like when I talk about things like matchup polarization and like, oh, I can never win this matchup or this format has this issue, that's not me saying the format is bad or that I'm not going to play it. It's just me describing accurately what goes on in the format that I'm playing. Honestly, I think I just click submit here. What's most go over the top deck in Historic? Probably the Sultai Ultimatum deck. I really like the build of Sultai Ultimatum that took second in the open yesterday. Hey, Atheist, thanks for linking that up and hooking up the Prime. I appreciate it. This is technically a two-lander. It's a scotch awkward that this can't be put into play with Grazer. Nailed it. Never didn't have it. I think just for the record, Pluto, I timed you out because I think comments like that are rude. You don't get to tell me how I feel about something. This isn't my I'm mad voice. This is just my speaking voice. And that happens a lot to me. And it does make me mad when that happens, is where people tell me what I intended to say because they're implications of how I'm supposed to be feeling about things. You're like, no, Jeff, you feel this way about things. It's like, that's not what I said if you actually listen to the words that came out of my mouth. When you're someone that the internet doesn't like, whatever the internet thinks you said or they wanted you to say is what you said in most instances. It doesn't matter the details of like what you actually said. If they're upset with you, you're gonna have said the wrong thing. Yeah, search looking really good here again. Agree. Huh? So I get to play another land tier. Honestly, I think I'm actually gonna change the split on Explore versus Growth Spiral because Explore can put these into play. It's really great. Do I want to search here? If I do this, I could spike the land next turn, or I spike the Ugin next turn and cast it. Which is nice. I mean, it's not even about like listening and then waiting to speak, because a lot of the times it's like, back before I basically turned off, back before I almost completely stopped posting on Reddit. I don't really read Magic subreddits and stuff like that anymore. But I used to have a Smurf account, for a lack of a better term. And when people would post shit about me that was untrue, something that happens very frequently when you're a D-list celebrity or whatever you want to call me, an internet personality, an influencer, you like, people very consistently would say, Jeff's awful and he always does this thing X. And I would have my Reddit Smurf, I had this templated message that I would post whenever I saw a message like that. And it would just say, man, I just started watching Jeff's stuff and he seems pretty reasonable. But if he does that all the time, that's awful and I want to stop watching him. Can you show me an example of where he's done that? Because I'm not going to support him anymore if that's something he does all the time. And believe it or not, essentially every time I would post a message like that, people would fail to give me an example of the supposedly awful, rude thing I always did. All right, so they obviously have a counterspell here, right? So the question is, what do I want to run into that? Honestly, I think I'm just going to grab a Teferi and cast it this turn.
I won't hide from the world any longer. Hurry!
Starman, thanks for the follow. Okay, that just happened. I mean, they could be saving their negate or whatever for explicitly the Ugin. They could also just have, like, a way to protect this, like a protection spell. They can't be playing Shark Typhoon, their Aluris deck. Someone's gonna post that on Reddit? Sure. God bless him. I stopped reading those. How Jeff goes undercover to manipulate the Magic community. Yeah. The internet. Okay, so we're down they're down to one card here, right? So we're down ticking on the Sedanto Vanguard. They just had Blessing. Okay. So 5, 9, 10 mana. I'm one short of Search for Glory into Ugin here. Great. We can play Vorinclex. Why would I cast Vorinclex rather than get... My opponent has no cards in their hand. I definitely want to just get Ugin for next turn. They have one shot to draw a thing. Yeah, this game's over. They can never beat Ugin. There's a lot of B-list decks in this format that just never beat Ugin. Little Penguin, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. See, they know. 0%. The thing I hate about your explain your lines rather than shout at you is I saw a sick line of Yorion flicker Teferi to bounce a flyer, but because I had to type it out, I realized it didn't work. No, I don't want that, Pat. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get rid of... I clicked the wrong button, chat. I want my cat. I want my almond cat. I think even with Spiral working slightly better with Teferi, I'd rather have Explorers. Explorers also technically easier to cast. Blues kind of are a splashy color. In fact, looking at the mana really quick here. Why are there 3 islands instead of 3 plains? Oh, I guess we have 3 Emeria's Call. Yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah, I decided we can block warriors today. We're not going to coward split it. Keep this in the dark. It's a little slow on the draw. Did I just mulligan? They're not a Yorion deck. I think I'm gonna mulligan this. You guys, like, don't keep hands that don't do anything before turn 3 on the draw in the dark in this format. Is this deck Pioneer legal? I have no idea. I turned it off and turned it back on and it came back on. I think I'm probably going to start researching new monitors though. I bought this monitor used like 4 years ago and it's lasted me a long time for what it is, but I would prefer it not die on me in the middle of something important. Not completely die on me. Yeah, you know. Can you split the difference on Vorinclex versus not? Now let's do this. Hey, good morning, Kimmy. Thanks for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I don't keep a 7. I don't keep a 7 that doesn't do anything till turn 3. Your threshold for keepable hands drops when you go to 6 cards. Just for reference. So company isn't reason enough to board engage. Nah, I don't think so. Not usually. You bought the monitor 4 years ago, used a Toyota or a Honda. It is an HP ZR2740. They have a company here. Not wrathing this turn's kind of bad. Can you DM me that model number, Bob? I'd appreciate it. Hey, Ganon Gamer. Thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate the entire year. Welcome back. Yeah, my center panel's I have a 27-inch in the middle, and then I have smaller screens on either side. I mean, we're probably dead to Coco here. It might be right to just play Yorion, honestly. Might be right to just play a blocker here. Or like play the... Could I play the Vorinclex? Or was I short? Might have been short of the Vorinclex. Or dead to another lord here. I don't think we're gonna get another turn. The good news is, like, with the Marrow Regery, it doesn't matter if I played the blocker here, because we would have gotten it tapped down. That'll do, pig. Yeah, I think I probably should have played my Wrath of God on 5 that game instead of drawing the Yorion, and then I could have played the Nissa the following turn. My sweeper sequencing was very greedy and bad. Dark Goblin, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel name. Ugh. We had 7 mana in play at the end of that game. We're supposed to bottom Ugin here. Pretty far away from it. Wadakiss, thank you for the 28 months. Good morning, good morning. Ever played any MMORPGs? When I was growing up, my group of friends and I played the original Guild Wars together. Because we couldn't afford the monthly fee to play something like World of Warcraft. But nothing since then, nothing in like the last decade. Do I play anything off stream? Just read Shadow Legends these days. I'll play like a little bit of Mythgard on the iPad, or what's it called? When Legends of Runeterra was worth playing, I would play that off stream. Pretty much all my off stream games these days are mobile games. I can like sit on the couch and play it. I did stop Raid for a bit. They had a content update and I poked back in. I don't really spend money on Raid anymore, but I'm still playing it. We dead? Pretty close to dead. Yeah, I hope Runeterra fixes their stuff too. That would be nice. I think we've died, chat. I gotta try Magic Legends. So, do we have anything? I actually watched Nox's review of Magic Legends last night. He posted a YouTube video about it, but it didn't have any concrete information. Do we know how Magic Legends is going to be monetized? Because, like, as someone who already has played a game like Raid and put too much money into it, like, and plays, like, Magic and card games, like, is it going to be another, like, game as a service, you have to dump infinite dollars into it? Yeah, like, well, it depends on, like, what the loot boxes are, right? So, like, it could be good and reasonable, but, like, are the loot boxes... I cut the Krasis, because they're probably a claim deck. Bring in the extra sweeper and extra Teferi. Well, like, so games as a service aren't inherently bad. We just mentioned Legends of Runeterra, and Legends of Runeterra monetizes in a very fair, reasonable way. They're a good example of fair monetization. Free to play, persistent online action fee that puts your boots. I'll have to look at that in a second. Can you give me a TLDR? Thank you for the source. Can you give me a TLDR from that, Arazamil? Because, like, the monetization would have to be super fair and reasonable for me to consider playing something like that over just, like, waiting for the Diablo 2 remaster to come out. Hey, thanks, Sister Penguin. Yeah, yesterday was a lot of fun. Magic Legends will not be selling content updates or playable missions. Their goal is to be playable and fun from the beginning without spending a dime. We offer a variety of items of purchase that will give... I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm jaded. We will be offering items for purchase that will give players a variety of items, but will not be a numerical power advantage. Apologies if I don't believe that until I see it. That's just like I've heard that statement made about many a game before, and it's basically never been true. Yeah, okay, I appreciate the TLDR for reference. Thank you for pulling that out. I appreciate the exact quote. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and wait and see what they actually do. Like, it isn't Wizards, so like, it's a Wizards IP, but it's not Wizards actually making the game, remember? So, there's a chance that it's fairly monetized. If cryptic games are anything to go by, it'll always be correct to purchase stuff. Sure, yeah. I don't have experience with their other games that they make. Premium stuff that's not stronger tends to be a load of crap, in my experience. But we'll see. Maybe this is the one that's different.
In this land, we are all connected.
Because, like, it was funny, what was described there, that description of there's no content paywall that you could technically access everything without spending money, that description describes Raid Shadow Legends and Genshin Impact and basically every other free-to-play gacha game out there. And those games are very heavily predatory and monetized. Like, if they take, you know, the like Path of Exile approach, I've told that game's monetization is very reasonable. I mean, again, like, when I say stuff like that about games, people take it to mean that I'm like crapping on the game. But like, listen, chat, I've played probably close to probably hundreds of hours of Raid Shadow Legends at this point. I'm not saying that it makes the game unplayable. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy it with that being true. I'm just describing an accurate description of the game. That's the important part. It's like I'm not saying I'm guaranteed won't enjoy this or that it's guaranteed to be bad. I'm just saying that this is the reality of how it works. Big Chaw, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. as someone who, especially with the PS5 that I have now, very recently discovered there's tons of great other games that exist in the world, it's hard for me personally to, like, justify playing, like, the average freemium model game, knowing that there's so many good, like, all-in-one games out there. Like, there's so many great, like, story-driven style games that I like playing that, like, are monetized in a very reasonable way. Yeah, I'd much rather just, like, pay, you know, $40 to $80 for a game and be done with it. And just have the whole game. We're dead, right? What PS5 games would you suggest at this point? So there aren't really any PS5 specific games out yet. Most of the games are PS5 and PS4. Honestly, basically every PlayStation exclusive game I've played has been excellent. The Final Fantasy VII remake was good. The Ratchet and Clank remake, we just finished that. That was good. Thanks for 24 months, Beard Hug. I appreciate the 2 years. Welcome back. I personally would not recommend Bloodborne. That was not a game that I enjoyed. Correct, Bob. Yeah, if you spend $80 in a freemium game, it's not gonna get you very far usually. Horizon Zero Dawn's not exclusive anymore, but that one's very good too. That's probably my #1 game of all time. Horizon Zero Dawn took, like, the typical story-driven narrative game that I love and, like, tied in a story based around late-stage capitalism being awful. So, like, it has a special place in my heart. All right, let's draw a land next turn. Then this hand's amazing, huh? Find Reap, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, Bob. It's really, really well done. Showing some of the weakness of Grazer. Grazer really isn't a ramp spell if you don't have more lands in your hand. God of War was great too. Yeah, that one was good. Lower than Horizon Zero Dawn for me, but still excellent.
I know.
Right.
am hot, aren't I?
This is kind of like the cursed land drop. This is like the land drop where, like, you're like, well, I guess I keep playing, but I'm probably still dead. Spider-Man, the Spider-Man Miles Morales was very good. I played that right after I got my PS5, and I plan to do the original one at some point. Once I get through some other things I want to play. Good morning, Hexon. But like Jund Ramp over there, kind of sweet looking. We just cast the Shatter, right? Just like wipe them out. Morning, Half Oz. Yeah, I bought, when I bought the Miles Morales Spider-Man, I got the original one with it.
Power surges through these lands.
Yeah, I really need an untapped land here so we can jam Vorinclex. Yeah, I think we're dead. Because we can like Ugin next turn, but yeah, I think we need to hit our land drop one turn sooner there. Board out these Grazers here. Honestly, I think I'm going to cut 2 of the Sweepers here, too. Their deck doesn't seem that creature-based. As someone with 2 small children, there are probably double-digit LEGO game titles in my house. My #1 and #2, I don't really know which one I like more, are DC Villains and LEGO Incredibles. Hollow Knight is not a story-driven narrative game, but I see why you would enjoy it if you enjoyed Bloodborne. Hollow Knight and Bloodborne are basically the same game, only one's 2D and one's 3D, but I really don't care for that style of game. Yeah, Phoenix Rising's on my list, Southern Man. I've heard good things about that one. This hand's fine. Like, nothing to write home about, but fine. Getting a 5-mana Planeswalker here? Probably just Nissa, huh? I dislike games that waste my time as a feature. So games like Hallowed Knight and Bloodborne, where you have to like replay a giant chunk of the game you already played every time you die, I don't find that enjoyable. I don't mind dying and having to replay, having to get better at the game to get back to. I don't mind having to get better at a game after you hit a difficult part, but like, don't make me replay 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game that I already beat to get back to the part that I got stuck at. When I die at the boss, start me back at the boss. I'm an adult with 2 small children, chat. My gaming time is precious. Don't waste it. I'm not playing, it adds to high stakes. I'm not playing my video games for high stakes. That's not why I'm loading up I'm not loading up a casual game. Yeah, I actually never played, like, games like Mario and stuff growing up. I've talked about this before, Jim, but growing up, my dad hated video games, and we never had any console systems. I had a Game Boy Color at one point, but we basically just had Pokemon for it. Yeah, those style of, like, NES-style games weren't things that I ever played or enjoyed. We really want them to have to down-tick Chandra here. So that way she doesn't threaten to ultimate next turn. It's a little greedy, but works out for us.
Time to fight fire with fire. I will protect the virtue of this world.
Are we done here? I guess I get to Thoughtseize by Ugin. Yeah, Obra Dinn's a very short game, so I'm playing that before Nier Automata, because Automata's a longer game. So they can use the abilities on their planeswalkers, however, they don't gain loyalty unless they're 2 or more.
Harness the elements.
Their sagas also not ticking up here is notable. Maybe I'm just supposed to Emeria's call this turn. Go either way on that.
Nature's true power. I don't need this of rest.
We do die to a removal spell here.
I protect that which cannot protect. Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Did do a stomp down too. It's a lot less scary when it's only a 1/1.
Rise, my elemental friend.
And we gotta dodge the second or third Bone Crusher Giant. Chandra's also lethal. None of those are gonna do it, chat. Sick. Vorinclex really punching the clock and going to work here. We rebalanced Nissa. I'm happy with how I boarded. I'm gonna run it back. I don't think I want Veto here. I think I'd rather have Gust. Would I rather have Veto? Gust tags like their early ramp creatures. Yeah, maybe Veto's just better. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Jake. For folks that enjoyed either watching or playing in the landed tournament yesterday, the next one's going to be April 17th. It'll be standard. We'll probably open signups for that towards the beginning of April. If you want to mark your calendars, that's something you'd like to play in. Is a 6/6 land better than a 1/1 land? Please cite your sources. Please do. Thrawn White Taxes, thank you for the Prime support. And there's a ton of great people making a ton of great stuff on Twitch. You can ship that to every single month. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Appreciate the Bezo bucks. We didn't pick deck favorites yet, Win Magus. I haven't had a chance to go through everything that everybody played yet.
Yup. I knew you needed my help.
It was a long day yesterday. I'm lucky the video editing happened to send everything to YouTube.
This'll be easy.
Let us march into battle. Rise and shine.
Whale poop. I guess we're doing this as a tempo play, huh?
Let's slow this down. Time is much more malleable than people.
Yeah, the Caster's Choice decks had to get at least 2 match wins. I'll tweet out the Caster's Choice decks when we have them. And the people that won those will get notified in Discord. There'll also be 2 door prizes chosen at random for people that went 3 and 2. Planning to kill me before I get to Ugin. That's probably not unreasonable.
Effective. My hair is on fire?
So our best draw next turn's Ramp Spell. Vorinclex would also be pretty good. How about a land? We're dead here, unfortunately. I appreciate the people that are suggesting games, but as a heads up, I've got a bunch of things listed in the stream queue on my site if you want to see the types of things that I'm going to be playing upcoming on stream. I also take viewer submission recommendations for games if you want to make a donation for something that you think I might enjoy. And there's details for that on the site too. But I've got, you know, doing like 8 to 10 hours of variety stuff a week. I probably got, I don't know, 2 or 3 months worth of stuff at this point. By the time I get through those, we're going to have some other sequels to things that I've already played that I definitely want to do. Maybe we need another land or two in this deck. Got a ton of these hands that are like reasonable and just like don't have another land in them. How much to put a game in the queue? $50 plus the cost of the game. I think we're gonna get ultimatum, chat. I don't think Stardew Valley is a game that I would take. That's not really a genre that I'm into. This is where the magic happens. Ignore the next recommendation. No, the games that are in there are definitely ones I'm playing. I don't let people cancel things out, Wellborn. I appreciate the biddies. Let me know if there's something you'd like to see, a deck or something like that. This is why I play Treasure Flare. Big mood. Big mood. Alright, so I have a bunch of vetoes and stuff. Notable that Grafdigger's Cage does not impact the opponent's deck at all, so you don't bring that in against Ultimatum. We trim a couple of Grazers. Just try and lean on our, we gotta try and be a little bit proactive in this matchup, so looking for like our Vorinclexes and our Vorinclex are actually pretty good in this matchup too, because a lot of the opponent's removal is like binding the old gods. Well, this is an excellent hand that's going to miss its third land drop on 3 and die. Nah, I didn't play that one past its promo, Red Link. I don't have time for a second mobile game in my life. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one too, Carabam. I was a little nervous going into this one since it'd been a while since we'd done one. And I'm always a little worried that we're going to, like, fail to meet the high bar that we'd set with previous productions, but we hit my goal of having 70% of the tournament time showing matches of Magic, and none of them being replays, so I'm pretty happy with what we did yesterday. Shout outs to my lovely wife and production crew for making that possible. On BT dubs, for people that watched the open yesterday and thought it was impressive, we do that with a crew of 5 people. And that includes my wife being the tournament organizer. Like, it's not even a five-person production crew. We have 4 people working on the stream and then a 5th making sure that the players are where they need to be. Yeah, that's true too. And Christy wrangles the Magic players while simultaneously wrangling our 5-year-old, our 7-year-old, and our 9-month-old.
The undead makes me smelly, but
Although I must say, I think my favorite part about running those types of tournaments is getting to be like, whenever it's just super dead, you just can't stumble in these games. Whenever I would critique like Wizards productions or productions of other things that people had put on, you'd always get those people that would be like, well, Jeff, you don't get it. You don't know how hard it is to run an event and how hard it is to put on these productions. It's very different and difficult. So like the fact that like I have hoots to point to and be like, this is what we do with 5 people, and it's just like, when are Jake and Declan getting jobs on Hoots? Soon, hopefully. My buddy Mike Andrew in chat, who runs the time shifted feature matches, actually has something to do the weekend of the next open, so I actually need to find someone to replace him for the day. Sure, yeah, I mean, there's logistics. I spent, I don't know, probably 3 hours in the week leading up to the open, off stream, prepping and coordinating with people like Jim and Mike and my wife, making sure that we had everything put together, and Wargy, our feature match picker. Actually doing that kind of stuff takes me back to my college days a little bit. I've talked about it on stream before, but I put myself through undergrad working as a live audio engineer and doing production stuff at a small theater and a few different local bars in the Chicagoland area. It was a fun thing to do. Alright, so we've got lands, we've got Vorinclex, we just gotta roll up a Planeswalker next turn to pair with him. The 6/6 booty here, gonna be nice and thick on this board, he says before getting Embercleaved. Ooh, we didn't get cleaved, that's good for us. No joke, Rhino. I think that part of the reason why the Hoaglandia events run smoothly is because the type of person that's more likely to hang out for my content, and especially the type of person on average that's more likely to support my content with the subscription, is probably more responsible and willing to read directions and follow rules than the average Magic player. Like if you're someone who's gonna get upset by a timeout, for example, you're not in here, right? Yeah. I'm blocking here so I don't lose Vorinclex to a cleave. No joke, day of, the most difficult thing to do is getting Magic players to follow directions. In fact, our issue that we had during the first round of the tournament yesterday was 100% related to the fact that we had 3 for 3 of the feature matches that we picked for the round all had at least one player that failed to follow directions. And actually, part of the reason why we call 3 feature matches per round, even though we only plan to cover 2 of them, is because we expect a failure rate of 1 out of 6 players to fail to follow directions per round. That was actually the first time that we had all of them, all 3 matches have at least one person have an issue. So like we plan for that. We like have things in place that we expect there to be issues. No worries, Alec. Listen, it happens, okay? Like I said, we expect there to be some amount of issues. Like, we plan for it. Ooh, that is a good catch. The opponent could have eaten with their skews while the Vorinclex was exiled. Honestly, the thing I'm most surprised works smoothly, and this is why I'm actually a little worried trying to find someone to replace my buddy Mike for the next one. The way in which we do time-shifted feature matches is super janky, and I'm always worried that it's just like gonna not work out the next time we do an event. And Ugin would be nice. Be a nice top deck. This stream is pre-recorded in front of a live Twitch audience.
And you will grow lost to history.
The jank glue was inside of you all along. The real jank glue is the friends we made along the way. Okay, so Aether Gus and the Shatter here are all great. I think it's probably Krasis and Teferi out. These are the bombs we want at the top end. So again, for people not familiar with that interaction, that's kind of the basis of this deck. Vorinclex makes your planeswalkers come in with double loyalty counters. So Ugin comes in and ultimates right away. Yeah, these small creature matchups are the Grazer matchups for sure. ASCM's great. Wow, we get to go Grazer on 1, put in Sunpetal Grove, Island untapped, Beanstalk Giant, grab a Plains on 2. Ramp it on up. Do. All right, now I think we're putting Scattered Grove into play here, because that'll make this come into play untapped anyways, and then this can fish up a forest for us. Once you have double white and a single blue, you want to fish up forest to maximize mana off Nissas that you could draw. That card is rude. Speaking of rude. Okay, so we're going to 11 here. Oh, they're not activating on Crop Crasher. That's so good for us, chat. It's so good for us. Goodbye, friends. We get to play a 6/6 next turn. We get to play a 7/7 the turn after. We get to just not care about the Cinder Vines for the most part. We're attacking? Now I just do this, right? I draw a card. Oh, they can't get the counter. Right. That's funny. When you're the aggro player, these are just like the worst attacks where they like attack with it and you're like, ugh. They drew the sweeper. I guess if they double block here, I just play Beanstalk Giant, right? And we hold on to the Shatter for now. And then next turn I get to draw this, play it. I think the opponent just like knows they're dead and they're doing this instead of conceding. Beanstalk Giant is a good addition to this deck. It could be possible. Playing 4 of these is correct. The ramp threat split card is real good. Believe it or not. Yorion untap my giant monster, also pretty okay. Hey, Sang. Thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Putting us around. Your move, Yugi boy. Oh no, not Quotas. There might be something to this Ugin card, chat. So something I wanted to highlight that I thought was interesting. Where is it? So we had this and we had this. So the Hoaglandia Historic Up was yesterday. If you want to see coverage of this, you can check it out on my YouTube channel now with all the downtime cut out. And something that I wanted to compare that I thought was really interesting is, in addition to our historic tournament happening yesterday, these are the most popular decks in that. Let's click on it so it stops making noise. Our most played decks had 6 copies and were 4.3% of the field. Star City also had a historic tournament yesterday, and their field looked drastically different. So the most represented deck in the Star City tournament was almost over 20% of the format. And then there were a couple of decks here that were at 7% past that. And I thought that was, so in the past, we had done custom ban list tournaments. And I feel like having this comparison on the same week, and we did have a couple people play Jund Food. We had 2 people play Jund Food. One of them made top 4 or top 5 or whatever it was. I think they went. Yeah, they were 5th. They were one of our 2 7-2 players. So yeah, and I think basically the comment that I want to make based on this is I feel like the incentive structure of our tournament did what I wanted it to do, basically, in that we had people show up to play Magic in the way that they would enjoy it, as opposed to just like Spike being the only reason. Yeah, basically, looking at the comparison between those 2 tournaments, I don't think I feel the need to really do custom ban list stuff ever again. And obviously that could, I mean, ever again is a strong word, but like in general, I feel like we accomplished what we wanted to do by creating a flatter price structure. No idea. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, there's definitely selection bias in terms of the types of people that are playing in the tournaments that I run here that watch my content versus the average Magic the Gathering player. I think that's definitely true. But that's a good thing too, I think. It achieves us the results that we want. What if Yellow Hat ran a tournament? I am terrified of what the metagame would look like of a Yellow Hat tournament. Every round just like goes past time because they're just like white control mirrors. It's been 800 years. Ooh, speaking of spice, Biomancer Soul Diviner. Seems sweet. Do I get Vorinclex here? They're obviously a deck that cares about counters, right? So we get this card. They could have Doomblade. It could be right to, man, they're on all the spice. Teferi, Betrayer King to the bin here. Agar and French Bake, good morning. Alright, I don't really know what the opponent's doing. I feel like I might just click submit. Maybe I trade out a Grazer for a Shatter the Sky. They seem like they're potentially creature-based, but not necessarily super aggressive. Thank you to the person linking MTG Data Matrix. We'll take a look at that for the historic events here after this match. Pull it up on stream for people that don't want to venture into Twitter for themselves. This Bant deck is sweet. It, like, has a decent proactive plan. Like, Ugin gets to win you random games of Magic that you wouldn't otherwise win. And, like, it has a Timmy over-the-top thing with Vorinclex plus Planeswalkers. Really scratches a lot of itches while being reasonably competitive. Is Vorinclex my favorite new choice? Well, keep in mind that this is a viewer-submitted deck list. Wait. So what we play on stream isn't necessarily always indicative of what my personal preferences are. I think Vorinclex is a sweet card, though. Yes, Beansy is one of Hooglandia's resident whales, and this is their new pet deck. Yeah, Vorinclex miscellaneously hoses a lot of things in Magic. There's so many things just like incidentally use counters. Was my favorite card in the last couple of sets? If I have one specific standout, maybe Gravenlore. I really like Gravenlore as a draw spell. This is a zombie. Some solid synergy. Oh, honey. I'm the bad man. Duh.
Return to the essence of the multiverse.
This Bant deck's a great deck for stomping around in Mythic with, in Historic especially, because it's got a really good random stuff matchup. A lot of the Ruse people play are pretty soft to Ugin as a card. Wait, that song isn't from before 2010. It's true, you know. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I'm going to start with this and get Vorinclex. And then I'm going to go ahead and play Beanstalk Giant this turn. And then next turn I have 11, so I can go Klex into Teferi Ultimate. Ugin, I think Ugin's incredibly fair as far as everything in a Historic is considered. I think Ugin's casting cost compared to everything else going on in this format is unreasonably fair. Oh. Well.
We will not fail.
Trust me, you'll thank me later. You are removed from time itself.
The land shall conquer you.
You've done evil this day. I did it bad. They could have phased this out in response, yep. I missed that line. Dear deck, one of your finest Hydroid Krasis, please. Yeah, they might be a God Pharaoh's Gift deck. We haven't seen GPG yet, but they could very well be playing that.
It's only a matter of time. Could have gone worse.
And pretty unlucky. Only get to make a 3/3 instead of a 6/6 here. You could turn 2 Ugin off into Malt's Trickery, technically. Based on the audio, we need to restart Arena anyways, so let's take a peek at the data matrix breakdown for the weekend. All right, so these are historic stats based off of the SCG Tour, 8 satellites plus 5K. A Sunday series event from whoever this person is. I'm not familiar with them, unfortunately. And then my Hooglandia Open as well. And believe it or not, it looks like the Jund decks might be good. It's a pretty high win rate here for the most popular deck overall. Azorius Control, to the surprise of few people who have played it, is a dumpster fire, it would appear. I'm actually kind of surprised Angels did poorly. I guess that makes sense. I would bet Angels is pretty terrible against Jund Food. It doesn't surprise me that Orzhov Ramp did poorly. Aura's doing well, I think makes sense. Yeah, I bet this deck's real bad against the Firstborn decks, which were the most popular things. Actually, and one of the neat things about the data matrix is we can look versus Angels. Yeah, Jund Food was 61% against Angels, and Jund Company was 62%. Which is, Azorius Control also looks like it feasted on Angels. So that would explain, actually, honestly, that explains Angels' performance really well. Angels is a pretty polarizing deck, right? What's up? Dead. I don't know. All right, chat. I need to mute you. All right, sorry, apologies. One of the neat things that's great about these data matrices is you can see kind of trends that are polarized here. So, for example, Angels is a deck that I would describe as being very polarizing, and the data seems to back that up, right? The Angels deck has what? 1, 2 matchups here that are near 50%. And basically everything else for the Angels deck is like 40% or 70% or 60%. You're like either a pretty strong favorite or you're a pretty big dog. And that's, people often ask, when I talk about something being polarized, what does that mean? That's a great highlight of what I mean by that. Decks that aren't polarizing will have more, 45 to 55% matchups. I think anything that's outside of the realm of 40 to 60%, I would consider to be polarizing. So if there's that more than that of a differential between things, I would definitely consider that deck to be polarizing. And Angels is in the 30%, and is in the 70 or 80% against a couple of things here. So, yeah. Oh, Goblins. Yeah, Goblins is another very polarizing deck. 60%, 30%, 70%, 45, 70, 25, 90%. Yeah. And, you know, people, like, that's something I always point out. And, like, if you're going to play Magic's non-rotating formats, these types of polarization in matchups is something you just kind of have to be okay with. They're a feature of these formats. They're not really a bug. There's something that comes with the territory. You gotta be willing to shake off the those types of matches. And obviously, I'll link the chart here for people that want to pull this up and look at themselves. It's from MTG_data on Twitter. You can look at that. There's only 45 decks in this sample. So, like, there's certainly some margins of error there. But I think when you look at those and the results that you see there, even with the smaller sample size, when those results are reflective of what my intuition say, I think there's a good chance that it's correct. Like when even a smaller sample size like that lines up with what experienced players seem to anecdotally be true, usually that's a stronger case that it's correct. Obviously not a guarantee, asterisk, margins of error, etc. But the numbers on this chart do not surprise me, is the TLDR, based on my experience playing with and against those decks. I think we have like a turn or two to draw land against the life gain deck. Jag, thanks for the follow, by the way. Oh, opponent's also missing lands. Deal Reno. I think how much data I think we need for a claim ban is irrelevant because I don't make the decisions. Yeah, and honestly, like, you know, that what Trench in chat there says is very correct, where if you're playing a deck, your deck can be reasonable and still have matchups that are polarized and bad, and it doesn't mean you need to change those matchups. Like, just because a matchup is awful, it doesn't mean you should spend a bunch of sideboard slots making it better. As much as I would like to ramp this turn, I think I want to kill these before they gain life. You can make angels. I don't know. I think it honestly deserves both masks. Based on the data that we have, it definitely appears to fill both criteria. The Jund decks were very good this weekend. The one Jund deck was both the most popular deck and had one of the highest win rates. Did it have the highest win rate? Yes, Jund Food both was the most popular deck played and had the highest win rate. Which, generally speaking, is the #1 sign that something is too good and needs a ban/nerf or whatever your card game can do. If the known best deck has a good win rate, that means the format likely doesn't have tools to be competitive against it. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it, physicist. It was a great event to put on. Nothing super advanced mistake. I could teach. In fact, I have taught. I could teach college statistics, introductory statistics class, but nothing super deep in terms of like whatever crazy stuff you get at the top end. Like I wouldn't be able to pass an actuarial exam, for example. Would be a comparison metric I would give. In fact, the school where I did my master's programming at, Illinois State University here in Bloomington, Illinois, a lot of the people I took my stats classes with there were going into actuarial programs. But like the stats you need for like analyzing games and stuff, it's like they're not that complicated for the most part. Is that insurance stuff? Yes, yeah, actuaries basically run the numbers based on real world data to determine what the rates are for different insurance things. They're the people who make sure the house always wins in terms of the legal gambling that is insurance. Again, I have blue and I have white, so we're going to prioritize getting forests so Nissa can ramp us more. That's a mood. Yeah. Listen, chat, I speak about insurance being legal gambling as someone that has life insurance, okay? I understand. Gambling's not inherently bad. I just also believe in calling a spade a spade. All right, so do I explore Growth Spiral or do I search to find a land? I feel like I'm supposed to cast Search this turn. It gives me the best chance to play Shatter next turn. Knowing that a spade's a spade also helps with gambling. Big mood. Oh no! Oh no! My snowlands come into play tapped! Oh no! I should have just explored Growth Spiral, chat. I forgot about the flavor text. You know, if I'm being completely honest, cards like this piss me off, and I think they're bad designs because snow in general is in no way close to being oppressive in any of these formats. So like, why would you put this effect on a card like this that's already playable? Like, I hate when they do that. Like, why do you need to hose my B-list strategy? Like, you delete the second line of text here, and this card's still plenty playable. I mean, like, no, I'm not even talking about cards like Stony Silence and Shatterstorm. I don't think those are comparable, because Stony Silence and Shatterstorm are cards that are, like, they're very good in the formats where they're good, chat. I'm talking about things like Snow, where, like, my Snow deck is very far from busted, and now, like, my B-list deck has to compete with this very powerful hate card. I think that's an important difference. If they can gain a life here, they can kill my Nissa. Yep. One too late, chat. One card too late. Close. We'll get a game 3 on the play. No you in Mythgard. I guess this hand's pretty bad if they redeem me on 3. Hopefully this draws us a ramp spell. I lost round 1 and dropped. It depends on what you mean by a la mid-90s, because I really don't enjoy playing games that have bad graphics. I wanna play video games that look pretty, chat.
Always stand by your side.
Big, beautiful video games.
Strange and magnificent world. Rise, my elemental friend.
Yeah, like, Loop Hero is a good example of a type of game I just can't get into. The graphics basically just make it a non-starter. I do not, Silas.
Our true strength lies in our friendships.
Alright, the race to an Ugin. We've got 8 Ugins in our deck, chat. Can we draw one of them? Hey!
Behold, nature's true power.
I have let my
The fact that Nissa lands are colorless is great, too.
reality is unwritten.
Well, I told it to use this because it was snow mana, so it gained me a life. A reference. I could have had it use my floating mana. But I wanted to gain a life. This gains a life if you put snow mana into it. Live by the cocoa, die by the cocoa, chat. Hey, Pizza. Thanks for the 29 months. Welcome back. I have heard good things about the Oberdin deck. Or Oberdin game, Oberdin deck. Lol. Yeah, creature lands usually have colors, things like Shambling, Vented, Ranger Ravine and stuff. Stan Stab, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Sand does all the things we want to do, chat. Search for Glory has been super reasonable. Felt like a very, very good upgrade to Fae of Wishes. Hard search for Ugin, pulls up search for Glory. It knows, chat. It knows too much. Oh. Oh no. Oh no, chat. Yikes. Yikes. Search for Glory's been good, but we've definitely gotten punished by Redain twice now. And we pass with... Oh, I guess they can't collect a company on Forks. They have Dahlia. Yeah, we could play Search without the Snow basics, but the gaining of life randomly is pretty good. You lose! Good day, sir! You get nothing! Do not Costco! Do not collect $200! And may God have mercy on y'all's soul. Our opponent played Illuminarch Aspirant while we had Vorinclex in play. I just Emeria's call, right? I could like Yorion I could Yorion plus Search as well and gain 2. Now I'm on 8 mana. It's got to be Search for Ugin. And then play Noodle. That is correct. Dronis cannot give himself trample. Hey, Ugin's how we win this game for sure. What's going on, Flameburst? To be fair, Arena's formats are very good right now. And Historic, honestly, if you could find a deck you like playing in Historic, you could just play it and use that to farm anything else you want in Arena, right? Like, having a deck you like playing in these non-rotating formats is busted. Missed a point of life gain by manually tapping your land. I did not. There's no basic planes down here. I had to tap a white dual land to cast my white spell. Alright, don't redeem me. We beat Thalia because we have a bolt land. Is Golos Gate still a thing? It is not, Dr. Mister. There are some Golos colorless ramp decks. Both red colorless ramp and black colorless ramp are pretty reasonable, and they play Golos. They did upgrade our 03 into a 3/3. Man, no plays here, huh, opponent? Pretty unlucky. I'm cycling this one. The question is, is this a spell 2? I think this is a spell 2. I think I'm just passing. One of Magic's many iconic duos. Cast Collected Company, put Mana Dork into play, concede. Truly, truly a play for the ages. Obtuse Hobbit, thank you for the 9 months. I appreciate the 3/4 of a year. Good morning, good morning. Gonna bring in some Gus. Gonna bring in an extra Shatter the Sky. Gonna click submit. Poor opponent. Hey, Hippity, thanks for hooking me up with the Prime. I appreciate the 29 months. Welcome back. We need Spell Queller away for a True Crocodile. Big agree. Spell Queller is going to be a big, and honestly, the whole Eldritch Moon set, like that set, if I had to request a specific set from Pioneer to be the next set into Historic, Eldritch Moon is the one I want more than anything. There are so many of the cards that I love in Magic are from that set. Was Tracker wasn't Eldritch Moon, right? It was the one before that. Yeah, EDF is in there. That was Shadows of Innistrad, yeah. Yeah, if we could get that block, can we get Shadows over Innistrad remastered, confirmed as the next set? SOI remastered would be love. Would be life. No Thalia, don't do it. Nailed it. Pretty sure we don't screw around and get caught with our hand in the cookie jar and we just shatter these two idiots. Pretty sure we just get those out of there. A pro or against Emrakul the Promised End? Promised End is legal in Pioneer, right? Am I misremembering that? Can I get a fact check on that? Is Emrakul the Promised End Pioneer legal? She is. Yeah, I think that card's probably fine. Yeah, I think that card's a fine power level. I actually think Emrakul the Promised End is a sweet design, and it would be cool to have it in the format. Like really unique designs like that. I know that card was probably a little bit too good in standard, but non-rotating formats tend to have a higher power level. I think that type of effect is more than fine here. Legal and Pioneer from the Gatherer. Can you double check on Scryfall for me? Because I don't trust the Gatherer. Yeah, I would not be surprised if Emrakul the Promised End is left out of whatever remaster set they make, in large part due to programming complexity as opposed to power level complexity. Also, I'm sorry, Silver Oak. I didn't mean you really needed to check Scryfall. I mostly just wanted to make a joke that the Gatherer is shit and you shouldn't use it. That was my intention by saying that. All right. Bant Vorinclex. So we built this archetype or something close to it on stream at the end of last week, and it felt super reasonable, and I really like the direction that Beansy went with this deck after they took it off stream and edited it some more. Search for Glory feels like such a clean addition to the archetype. We had played Fae of Wishes last time in this deck, and I liked this card a lot more. Not only is being able to tutor up Vorinclex fantastic, so you can like kind of find your other combo piece, but the life gain off of this isn't trivial either. I know that we got by Redain a couple of times and it felt bad, but overall I was really happy with this change. Yorion was also pretty instrumental in winning us a few different games, so yeah, I like what this is doing. I don't think I'd have any changes, honestly. It felt pretty reasonable. Games where we got to play Magic, we felt competitive. Maybe I'd go up a land. We're at 37 lands with the 3 Emeria's call. Maybe we give up a Grazer because Grazer's so awkward without extra lands. I could see that. I don't hate that. Maybe we get rid of that and go to the 4th call, because call's a pretty castable card in this deck too, which is nice because we're ramp deck. I think that would be the change I'd make. I would trim a Grazer and I would go up an Emeria's call. All right, it's been a hot second. Let's do some deck voting, huh? Let's let chat decide what we play next. I've got a bunch of historic decks I've loaded up from different places on the internet. Let's let chat vote between 3 of them. All right, which 3? Grixis, Shadow, Black-White, Vampires, and Blue-Black Control. All right, I'm going to put the poll up for 3 minutes. I'm going to run a quick 3-minute ad break to disable pre-rolls while that goes on. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm going to grab some water and use the bathroom too while this goes. So vote for which deck you'd like to see next on stream.